So the question today is, what is anger and how do you manage anger through yoga? So I request people who are there to share their opinion, their knowledge, their experience of how they understand anger and how do they manage it.
Sir, I'm Dr. Gandhi speaking, sir.
Yes, yes.
So anger and these are all instinct that is born with our body itself. As we born, anger and sex are both these two things are born with us, and this has to be controlled. But at the same time, you have to also express for some time. Otherwise, it will create a turmoil inside your body. And if it is a true anger, you should express. Then only it will be perfect. And through our yoga, when suddenly if anger comes, we have to think of breathing and count for 10 or 20. Or you may say that my father has taught me that I will not to answer now. Why I don't want to express now what is the anger. And I will come tomorrow. I will tell you if somebody creates an anger to you, that I will come tomorrow. I will tell you and answer for you. Like that, you should go and then come back. So that
Very
by the time
beautiful
the
answer.
anger might have come down. Yes.
So very beautiful answer, Gandhi sir. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your knowledge.
Yeah.
So Dr. Gandhi, he suggested that anger is inborn and you have to sometimes express the anger. Sometimes you have to hold it. And he says that you can use breathing. You can use breathing to manage your anger. That is, just hold your breath for 10 counts before you express. And another technique that he said is tell yourself that you will express your anger tomorrow. Very beautiful. Anybody else?
Good morning, sir.
Hello, namaste, namaste, Shashi sir. Please share your views.
Sir, I am Raghunath here.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, yes, Raghunath ji.
Sir, I would like to hear the music on that day, at that time, or practice Nada Anusandhana at that point of time so that I could overcome my anger.
Did it help you, sir?
Particularly the music will help me, sir.
Okay, okay. So exactly what happens? You get angry on someone and you put some soothing kind of music?
Yes, that suits my mind for the time I come out of that particular situation of anger.
Okay, okay. So congratulations, sir. In the in that moment of anger, also you are able to remain aware and focus on music, and that is soothing you. So it is wonderful. So music has helped Raghunath ji. Anybody else? Please share your experience. What has helped you manage anger?
So good morning, sir.
Yes.
So yeah, anger is an emotion. It is mostly we see as a negative, but anger is needed, and we have to know how to regulate the anger. Emotional regulation is more important. When to, where, when, how much. So this is the thing we have to plan and we have to express. So there, yoga will help, particularly Bastriya. These are the things activate the sympathetic nervous system. So when we are emotional, negative emotions, it will stimulate your sympathetic, and parasympathetic is not going to work immediately for most of the people. But when you do yoga, fast breathing activate your sympathetic and make you cool down immediately. The parasympathetic nervous system will help you to soothe. This is the way, and savasana. After breathing, relaxing, stretching, breathing, and relaxing is a good method to manage the emotions like anger. So this
Very beautiful answer, Sukumarji. So Sukumarji has said that anger is a emotion. Very correctly said that anger is a emotion. And what he suggests is that anger is a tool, Anger is a tool, like sometimes you need, in our toolbox, we have tools. We have a hammer also to put the nail inside. So sometimes you need those tools, but very correctly, Sukumarji said that you need appropriate regulation of that anger. You should be in control of how much is to be expressed where, especially when you have to manage, tamasic people around you. Anger is a tool to manage them, So in that way, there are moments where the anger has to be expressed, but there are moments where it has to be controlled also. Because to sattvic people around, anger may not be the correct tool to manage them. Anger is a tool to manage more tamasic kind of people, So that way, Sukumarji has very correctly, beautifully said that the fast yogic breathing practice, during the moment of anger, your mind is very fast, very fast. So in that, you have to match the speed of the mind first. So you start with this Bhastrika practice. We do this, take your anger and frustration out, breathe in, throw your hands up, breathe out, come back. As fast as possible till your anger comes out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And once you feel that all your anger has come out, completely let go, fall back like a dead body, drop your neck down. And just observe whatever that goes on within you. In fact, we use the example of pressure cooker. When in the pressure cooker, the pressure of the air rises too much. Then after that, you cannot control it. But if you have this, knob over it, the whistle over it, you slowly raise it, the air escapes and the pressure of the cooker goes off. If there is no such knob to escape, the air, the cooker itself may blow away. So that is what is there with anger. If you suppress, suddenly the volcano erupts. That is not the correct way. What you can do is, if something is frustrating you and you cannot express it, you are not in a position to express. How can you express anger on your boss? He will fire you. Correct? So in such a situation, Bhastrika is a technique to release that pressure. As it is released through a whistle in a pressure cooker, you do Bhastrika, fast and forceful Bhastrika, and then just let go and relax. You will see that you have, in a way, expressed the anger out, but you have not expressed it on the target. Otherwise, there will be unending loop. You become angry, the person again becomes angry, then again you have to become angry. So this loop never breaks, and you cannot suppress it also inside. So yoga gives us technique to express this anger in a harmless way, and in that, as correctly said by Sukumarji, fast breathing practices of Kapalabhati, Bhastrika are wonderful. After doing this pranayama, you should just relax or have a cool, water with you and just drink one glass of water and see. I remember a police official who was having a lot of difficulty in controlling his anger. He was again and again transferred from one place to another. He couldn't just control his anger, and he has this habit of taking a mobile and blasting the person, whoever he is angry on. So he came to me and I taught him these breathing practices. Then he came back to me again saying that, sir, my anger is so intense that in that moment, I don't even get a thought of doing this pranayama, this anger, nothing. I just blast. What should I do? So then I told him, okay, you have a habit, whenever you become angry, you pick up the phone and you blast the other person. You do the same. You pick up the phone and start blasting the other person there only, in your police station only. But do only one simple thing, just one thing you remember. Do not dial the person. So anyway, people around you will not realize whether you have dialed to the person has picked up the phone or not. So you hold your phone and you tell whatever you want to tell that fellow without dialing the number of that fellow. And after that, you cut your phone in anger, as if, in front of everyone. Then sit back, then do this pranayama, then drink a cool glass of water. And after that, you call that fellow. Then you will see how your response that was there in that moment of anger and rage is so different now in this particular moment when you have, in a way, not expressing on that person, you have expressed it somewhere, So some people express their anger by shouting. Some people express it physically, they take the mobile phone and they break it, So such people, they can take a pillow, they can take a stick and they can beat the pillow, they can punch the, pillow in their home, or they can do this Bhastrika Pranayama, they can go for a fast run, they can go to the gym, or some people want to write it out. Some people express their anger by writing it out. So you just write whatever feelings that are coming about that person in your heart. After writing it out, please do not read it, tear it away. Okay, so do not accumulate all those angers you are writing in your diary. Do not accumulate them, read them again and again. No, it is just in that moment, that fire within you has to be expressed in a way that it is not harming anybody around, but it is still getting expressed. And after that, you should do this fast breathing practices and then drink a cool glass of water. Why water? Because anger in its nature in the Panch Mahabhutas comes from fire. And water is the element, it's Tanmatra, that has a calming effect on the anger. So let us quickly look at the yogic literature. What does Bhagavad Gita say about anger? So in the 3rd chapter, you see this shloka, Kam esh, Krodh esh, Rajoguna samudbhava. So Krishna says, it is the desire alone which is born through the Rajoguna and later is transformed into anger. So please understand, yogic understanding of anger is that it is nothing but a desire getting obstructed. So anger will not go till you address the underlying tendency of expectation. जब तक expectation रहेगा, गुस्सा रहेगा. So, but Krishna says that you have to be careful about it, because this particular desire and resulting anger, is covering the knowledge. It is covering our own jnana, which is there within our own heart. So just as fire covers the smoke, mirror is covered by the dust, or the embryo is concealed, in the womb by the, you have this meconium that covers. So similarly, one's knowledge gets shrouded by the desires. Okay, and particularly in the 2nd chapter, you see this wonderful flow of sequence that Krishna says that dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu bhajayate. Where does anger begin? It begins when we start contemplating in our mind about what we want from the object, from the person. The more we contemplate in our mind about wanting something, desiring something, we develop attachment to that object, to that person in that particular way. And this attachment leads to sanghat sanjayate kamaha. Then comes the desire. It should be like this. And from that desire, when it is blocked, when it doesn't happen the way we want, the anger comes. And then what happens? Krodhat bhavati sammohaha. From this krodha comes clouding of the judgment. Your ability to judge goes away. You forget what this person has done for me in the past, what my parents have done for me throughout their life. How did my mother keep me in the womb for 9 months and give me birth? All those things, the way that they have raised me, everything is forgotten. What this friend has done when I was in crisis, how much my wife has served me when I was not well, all that memory goes away in anger. And then sammohat smriti vibhrama, when that memory is gone, the intellect gets completely destroyed and the person falls from his place and starts behaving like an animal. Buddhi nashat pranashyati. Then what happens? Invariably, when you have forgotten all the things that were a fact, and in a fate or rage of anger, you have said something, done some actions, they cannot be undone. And the only thing that remains later on is that you feel sorry about it. You keep saying sorry to the person, and but once the words come out of the mouth, once the actions are done, they are very difficult to heal. The sorry is not good enough after that. And in the relationships also, the more angry a person is, the more time he has to keep saying sorry, and that leads to ruining of the relationships. So therefore, Krishna says, "Oh, best of the Bharatas, in the very beginning, bring the senses under control. Tasmat indriyo niyamya Bharatarshava adau." In the beginning itself. So where the loop begins, I am starting to develop expectation. That is the time, when you should contemplate in your mind that my satisfaction is within me. I do not expect anything from people around. And this is through this that turning yourself inwards, ultimately everything comes down to turning inwards. And we do this in Yoga Nidra. I am satisfied. I am complete. So your satisfaction within yourself, that is the way out, and you have to catch it in the beginning. Because why? Because why you have to turn inwards? Indriyani paranyah manaha. So man is param, then the indriya. Superior than the senses is the mind. Manasastu para buddhi. And beyond this mind and emotion is the intellect, which is more subtle and more powerful. But even beyond the intellect, paratastu saha, even beyond the intellect, it is that your own consciousness, that source of consciousness that you have to move towards. And it is here that lies the regulation power or the mastery over your anger. So it is through this way that Krishna tells that you have to manage the anger. So thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you.
So Prachi, madam has asked a question. She says that it starts with a chain of events, and in that moment of anger, it is very difficult to develop this kind of awareness. So how to manage? So here another very important point is that when the storm is there, jab tufan aaya hua hai, then very little is there that we can do. But definitely when the storm is over, जब आपका गुस्सा आकर के पूरा चला जाता है, जब when you have expressed it, you have regretted it, in that moment, one has to develop that deeper inner awareness that what is happening, once again I am regretting. So it is recommended that you should do this pranayama, yoga, meditation, all those practices, after the storm is over. Because when it comes for the next time, you develop that moment of awareness. Okay, I can manage it without expressing for. So that moment is very precious. आपको एक moment मिलना चाहिए जिसमें कि you are able to, gain that awareness. How to? I am getting angry. That one moment is very precious, because you see, you go to prison, you will see hundreds of people, regretting their one action that they did in the fate, in the rage of their anger. That's it, finished. The life is finished. So it is such a serious issue. And every day, those who practice yoga in the morning, like you people log in and do yoga with me, people have reported, in 1 year, 2 year, their feedback that their personality has changed. Their ability to become aware of their anger has improved drastically. And with that one golden moment of awareness is the key. And it can come when you do not try to do yoga, if it is very difficult when you are angry. But when it is over, after that, make yoga a part of your lifestyle and begin your day with yoga. First ground yourself and then begin. So you will see that you will develop more awareness.
Sir,
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
sir,
Yes.
सर सर एक बात बोलूं सर
बोलिए बोलिए.
सर हमारा जो ये डिजीज अटैक हुआ था ना 2020 में तब वो जो मेडिसिन लिया था
एक
न्यूरोसाइंस
मिनट मैं ये रिकॉर्डिंग स्टॉप कर देता हूँ. एक मिनट. So Abhijit ji is telling that he had lot of anger, and when he is doing yoga now regularly with us, his anger has reduced. Abhijit ji, आप बता सकते हैं कि किस तरीके से आपका एंगर कम हुआ है, मतलब आप कैसे कम हो गया योगा करके?
सर ये जो प्राणायाम और योगा कर सकता हूँ आपके साथ करता हूँ ना रेगुलरली मॉर्निंग में. ये मेडिटेशन और प्राणायाम ने हमारा कुछ माइंड को चेंज कर दिया. ठीक है, मैं खुद को कंट्रोल कर सकता हूँ. आप ठीक है, मेरा
गुस्सा फिर भी आता ही है, लेकिन अब गुस्से को आप कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं.
कंट्रोल, यस सर. मेरे कोई अनफेयर, एनी काइंड ऑफ अनफेयर आई कैन नॉट बेयर विथ इन दैट टाइम, बट नाउ सर आई कंट्रोल माई सेल्फ.
वंडरफुल अभिजीत जी, थैंक यू. आपने अपना नॉलेज हमसे शेयर किया. यस, नंदिनी मैडम, यू वर सेइंग समथिंग. Any you want to say something?
Yes, doctor, I just have this question. What about the recipient of the anger? Like if in the office environment, the boss is shouting, and this is going on for a few days, as a recipient, what can I do?
Oh, this is a very beautiful question, madam. The answer comes from Gautama the Buddha. So when Buddha used to meditate, people around him, out of jealousy, they would come and they would, shower their anger on him, talking abusive language. And Buddha would still remain calm. You know what Buddha said? When these people come and they express their anger on me, they say these abusive words, I do not literally take their words. I just feel the energy. I just feel the energy that they're giving me. And anger is such wonderful warmth, such energy. And I feel that they are giving me a warm shower. And I am getting rejuvenated by that warm shower of energy. So wonderful. So what Buddha tells is that the person is giving you something, but it is up to you in what form you take it. So you let the anger go through you in the form of energy and mentally feel that this is a lot of energy and you are absorbing that energy. It is giving you a warmth and it is actually empowering you, energizing you. Because at the root, really, anger is nothing but fire. It is nothing but energy. So you just accept it and take it as an energy to strengthen yourself. This is what Buddha did.
So beautifully said. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Annie.
Hemant ji, can I ask you a question?
Yes, Nandini ji.
Yeah, thank you so much for this session. It was really nice. I wanted to ask you, we're talking about anger as anger against others, but there's sometimes anger against oneself, no? And how does one deal with that? Because that is very difficult. I mean, no? So I was wondering what you can say about that. Sometimes we're very angry with ourselves.
Yes, Nandini ji. This is a very, sensitive issue. We get very high prevalence nowadays, our relationship with ourselves. Our relationship with ourselves is taking a toll, especially, nowadays, especially in youngsters, adolescents. You ask, do you love yourself? No, I hate myself. These kind of things are becoming very, very common. Now, let us understand, why does a person become angry on oneself? Why does a person hate oneself? Somewhere in the heart of the heart, the person has an image about himself that one is not good enough. Correct? And why one is not good enough? is because one has heard this again and again from the surroundings that one is not good enough. By nature, when we were born, when we were a child, we were good with ourselves. But now the feedback that we have got from the surrounding around us, somewhere, directly or indirectly, parent compare one child with another child, the one sibling more than another, or, in our friendship, in our relationship, people behave with us in a biased way. Someone else is favored more than us. We, in that way, in our innocence, start making an image that I don't deserve. I am not good enough. That is why, इसीलिए मुझे नहीं मिला ना, क्योंकि मैं deserve नहीं करता हूँ. So in this way, a kind of a complex develops in our own heart. Now here, when that thing develops in the beginning, it is a kind of a inferiority, kind of a low self-esteem, kind of a feeling. But because one is filled with a lot of energy and one is not able to express that energy outwardly, because of his low self-esteem, he cannot express it outwardly. So what the person does is, or find it easiest, is to express it on oneself. See, all of us are filled with a lot of energy. Unless we learn to manage this energy, it will manifest itself either in the form of desire or anger. So that desire itself will turn into, on one side, an expressed anger outside, or inwards, the same desire inwards turns into depression. That depression only is my anger towards myself. So therefore, whether it is the expressed anger outward, or the anger turns inwards in the form of depression, ultimately the source is the same. The source is that I am not able to manage my energy. I am not able to manage my expectations and desires. Okay, my parents did not behave equally between me and my sibling. But I still had the freedom to accept my uniqueness, that I am different. They compared me, but then I also compared myself. So in this way, I believe that the anger will be managed in the same way that one will do, that I am having a desire to kill myself, I am having a desire to hurt myself, cut myself. Just before that, you let your anger or your frustration come out in a harmless way. So that harm neither should be towards oneself, that harm neither should be towards somebody else outside. It should come out neutrally. So that moment of awareness, we talk about compassion, we talk about love, we talk about forgiveness. There are good amount of people who do that towards others, but when it comes to themselves, they are too harsh. So please understand that Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Hriday aham sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto. I am residing in the heart of every creature. So if Krishna is residing in the heart of people around you, in the creatures around you, he is very much there within your heart as well. So therefore, that compassion we have to develop towards oneself also. And one of the ways in which I tell my patients to manage it is, I tell them that, okay, imagine the person that you love the most. So I love my daughter, I love my son, I love my brother or my best friend or my husband. So imagine the person that you love the most. Put that person in your situation. Okay, and then what advice would you give to that person if he was in your situation? Would you give that advice to the person to hurt himself? No. So follow the same for you. Do the same thing for you. आप जिससे सबसे ज्यादा प्यार करते हैं, अगर वो आपकी सिचुएशन में होता तो आप उसको क्या एडवाइस देते? वही एडवाइस आप खुद के लिए कीजिए. So one should have compassion towards the God residing in one's own heart as well. And therefore, for that also, it becomes a habit to hurt oneself. So it also requires that moment of awareness. Many people are not even aware that they are hurting themselves. So awareness followed by a way of expressing out that anger in harmless way, neither towards oneself nor towards others, and continued practice of yoga heals oneself from within. And that is how I feel it is managed.
Thank you so much, Hemantji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Preeti ji,
Sir?
you would like to say
Yes.
something?
Sir, I feel anger against injustice. For example, Gandhiji getting angry with the English. So I think sometimes anger, when we learn how to respond rather than react, can actually bring a revolution in the world.
So Preeti ji has brought up, very important and very beautiful point. You remember in Mahabharata, Krishna took up, the wheel of the chariot in his hand, and he was running towards the Bhishma. He wanted to kill him there. So with dharma, do not become cowards. When you are aware that I am with dharma, and the thing that is happening around me is injustice, then anger is your tool. The anger is the Sudarshan Chakra of Krishna, and it is the Trishula of Shiva. It is the arrow and bow of Rama. So please do not think that, the anger is something that has to be killed from the root, from your existence. If that happens, you will never be able to reach your true expression, because anybody moving towards that truth will not be able to tolerate adharma or injustice. The only thing here is that you should be able to become aware that I am allowing the anger to come out, and yes, this is the time that the anger has to be expressed. And when it is for the dharma, express it fully. Don't hold back. Give it 100%. Then that anger also is highest meditation. So, but it requires calmness of the mind to understand what is dharma, what is adharma. It is very easy to misguide oneself, to have one's own notion or one's own understanding of dharma and actually do adharma. So therefore, the best way out is calm down, touch the very source of your existence every morning and start your day. So it is a very, very wonderful discussion that we had today.
Good morning,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, Shashi sir, yes.
Sir, at times what happens is we can't do anything but to suffer humiliation because of other person's anger, because the other person is in power and can harm you as authority or something like that. You can't even respond, you can't even talk because he's so arrogant, he's not willing to listen to you, even if you are not at fault. Those situations are very pathetic. How to deal with them? You can't utter a word.
Patanjali says, apunya upeksha. You have to ignore. You have to ignore, Shashiji. We cannot keep breaking our head. You have to, in our mind, somewhere we have to understand that this is a nut case and the person is not in his senses. So the person has to be managed like that. How much attention such kind of people deserve, only that much attention we should give. The more attention we give to such people, it actually works towards increasing their behavior. So in such a situation, if whatever you are trying to do, it is not working on the person, his arrogance has crossed a level, you have to do upeksha. So the person is there or not there, it should not bother you. Empower yourself, and that upeksha only is the greatest siksha for that person. So unless it is physical harm you have to respond, you have to stop him at any cost. Okay, but yeah, we are in this kind of complex situations where people talk but don't do much and indirectly try to irritate us. There it is always better to empower ourselves and ignore. and ignore and maintain our peace.
सर गुड मॉर्निंग सर.
Yes, Bhaskar ji.
सर ये बीपी पेशेंट्स है बोल के उसको ज्यादा गुस्सा आता बोल देते, वो पेशेंट है क्या है सर, वो मैं रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं कर सक रहा हूँ. बीपी पेशेंट्स बोलते हैं ना उसको, बीपी है ना ऐसे पुकार लेता बोल के बोलते हैं. वो एंगर अलग है, ये एंगर अलग है.
भास्कर जी, जब गुस्सा आता है तो बीपी बढ़ता है.
ओके.
हमेशा पहले गुस्सा आता है, उसके बाद बीपी बढ़ता है. हमारा माइंड पहले होता है और उसका इफेक्ट बॉडी पे बाद में होता है. तो वो बीपी पेशेंट है इसलिए गुस्सा नहीं आ रहा है, उसका गुस्सा कंट्रोल में नहीं है, इसलिए उसको बीपी का प्रॉब्लम अभी हो गया है.
ओके.
तो ये बात है.
थैंक यू सर. एक तेलुगु में पोएम भी है सर, तन कोपमे तन शत्रु तन शांतमे तनकु रक्षा.
क्या मतलब है उसका?
एनिमी, गुस्सा इज अपना एनिमी है वो.
गुस्सा हमारा एनिमी नहीं है, गुस्सा हमारा एक टूल है, उसको यूज करना हमें नहीं आता है, इसलिए हम उससे खुद को ही काट लेते हैं.
वही
वो एक टूल है. अगर आपके पास नाइफ है तो आप उससे पूरा कुकिंग कर सकते हैं, अपना पूरा घर का खाना बना सकते हैं आप. लेकिन आप अगर उसको यूज करना नहीं जानते हैं तो आप ही यहाँ वहां खुद को ही कट कर लेंगे.
उसको डाइवर्ट करना,
योग उसको हैंडल करना हमें सिखाता है. हमारे माइंड को वो पावर देता है कि हम उसको मैनेज कर सकते.
योगी वेमना wrote that poem sir in Telugu.
ओहो, बहुत अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा.
Thank you very much sir.
Thank you everyone. Namaste.
Thank you sir.
Take care. God bless you. Namaste.
Thank you sir.